Good evening, traders. My name is Adam Harris. Thank you very much for joining me. So, a quick look at the economic calendar for the week ahead. So, it's July 2023. We're now in it. And essentially, the big news that we've been running into this week will be rolling out Wednesday evening, Thursday, and Friday with US jobs numbers, essentially. Keep it really simple. What's the FOMC? What's going to happen with that is the market, are they happy with the rates of inflation? It is cooling. It seems that the Biden administration is getting everything under control. And we can also see that jobs numbers are generally good. So my expectation for now is there shouldn't necessarily be any upsets here, and that otherwise it will just add normal noise and volatility into the markets. There might even be, I'd be amazed, but there might even be a pleasant surprise of, exceeding expectations for jobs added. But otherwise, just making myself and you aware of which news this week is likely to create a disruption in the markets. And obviously, most trend traders would be or staying away from that, making sure that they're not exposed during those periods because the markets are likely to swish around. That being said, let's have a look at the charts. So first up, let's have a look at the volatility index. It's still right near the bottom, relatively low. And again, in the past, people have said, well, the fact that it's very low is a sign that we're, danger lies ahead. That's not really how it works at all. We will see if it starts to build up and we'll have time. This is a monthly chart, so we can see that it actually takes several months to climb. Right now, what we're seeing is essentially the market is very happy and very calm. Then having a look at the dollar index, although it is technically in an uptrend on the daily, overall, certainly when we look at it from a monthly perspective, it is currently range bound, right? Stuck between 100 and let's call it 106 or 105.50, ping-ponging between the two for now. There's no clear trend. And so what does that mean? It means for traders, day traders are probably going to have to really trade things as they lie. In other words, much more shorter term thinking. I also note there aren't a lot of great trends happening within the currencies this week. There's very little on my watch list, but I'll show you what I have seen. For example, just showing the conflicting signals we're getting here, we have got a really nice bullish candle, sort of double bottom effect happening here at 108.40 or 108.50 for euro dollar, implying that it's going to push higher this week. But you can see almost immediately there are levels of resistance sitting at 109.7, and then as we head up towards 1105. Okay, so there's plenty of resistance up here, and therefore my expectation is it'll be relatively choppy till we break either above that or below that, and probabilities for me lie just that little bit more to the upside, but it's got a lot of resistance that it has to break through to get through there. Looking at sterling, I do like the fact that we now have a nice little bullish candle that pings off these highs over here. We've also got a nice uptrend, and prices closed above this level of previous highs, so therefore just a little bit more bullish momentum there, and I want to see if it can maintain that. Then having a look at dollar yen, so the only comment I have here is beautiful trend, certainly overextended, and producing a bit of a bearish candle here, so it is possible that we could see a retracement this week, and I'll be looking for pullbacks towards into the moving averages, then looking for entry opportunities. The monthly is not that overextended. The weekly is starting to push its luck a little bit here. So we could have a deeper correction, but I would say for now, my first thing is really just looking for a pullback into the moving averages. And that'll be the case on quite a few of the yen crosses that are on a similar position, that there should be some potential buying opportunities. But because it's overextended, I'll be looking for smaller exposures on each of those trades. In other words, if I was trading 1% per trade, 1% per position, then I'll probably be halving that because I can sense that the overextension, we're now starting to push a luck. Doesn't mean it's over yet, but it does mean that the end is potentially in sight for the weekly to then begin a retracement. My favorite opportunity this week actually lies with KiwiCAD, which is producing, albeit a very distorted one. This is a very nice little double bottom type of impact. We've got very nice bullish divergence, strong bullish candle here. And for me, I'll be looking for opportunities as I expect this to break and move at least back up towards 08268 this week, potentially up a little bit higher than that. So that's what I'll be looking for this week. I'm also going to be watching gold this week to see if we can break back up above 1940. If we do that, then the momentum will start to shift towards bullish and could potentially even finish the week nice and strong. Natural gas as well, one of the trades looking for. We had a very nice pullback here. We've got another bullish candle, so I'm just going to move that up there. And so I'm looking for a continuation. Again, I'd really love to see it break through this resistance. We'll see if that's going to be the case. You can see that weekly is really trying to turn around. We've got that continued bullish momentum. It's trying to do it, and you can see also the candles are starting to get bigger again. So it is trying, and we'll see if it's going to be successful in breaking to the upside. Crude oil is again still stuck. It's still range bound, but I do want you to see here the wicks along the bottom here. So there's plenty of buyers below this area, and so right now it's hinting at the fact that it's more likely to break out to the upside if it is at any time soon, but otherwise it's just ping-ponging and range-bound between these two levels for now. Nothing exciting about that, unless, of course, you are doing some options trading and possibly looking at, say, an iron condor or some sort of straddle trade. Now getting on to the global indices. So again, as we've been talking about for the last few months, we are pretty much in a bull market, believe it or not, with there's so much negative media, which is absolutely bizarre to me. But as I said, the news really doesn't make money off telling us good stuff, so they tend to harp on about how the sky is going to fall at any minute. And it really does seem like that's all we ever hear these days. But so the market's looking nice and bullish. It's had a really good weekly candle. It's not overextended. However, yes, we are sitting at resistance, and I'm curious to see if we're going to get a breakout this week. So I'd be looking for any kind of pullbacks below this area, possibly looking for entry opportunities to the upside. The monthly looks good, weekly looks good, but there's no denying that, certainly here looking at the Dow, that there's some resistance up ahead. Let's compare that to the S&P. So with the S&P, it's a little bit overextended on the weekly. I wouldn't mind that. The monthly's had its breakouts. It's very nice. So there's a bit of a lag with the Dow. And otherwise looking very, very good here. It's just got to continue to break and continue up here. So I'll be looking for any kind of pullbacks and looking for trend continuation opportunities this week on the S&P. The Nasdaq as well, same thing. It's really just battling with a little bit of resistance up in this area. But the moving averages are starting to come up, and it's not that overextended. And so I think there's a fair chance that it could just continue this week. Okay. Russell 2000, let's have a look here. So I did want to mention this because we've broken into this sort of upper band. We've had a pullback. We've produced a bullish engulfing candle, all right, a weekly one. So what that tells me is that the odds of this now continuing to the upside are also much higher. The FTSE, having a look at that very nice little bullish candle here. I'm going to mark that very nice little bullish candle off support. Overall, within this monthly trend, the question for me is going to be, can we break the high? So if we can break that high and get above that 7,600 level, then I do expect us to have a fair chance at continuing to the upside. The DAX as well, very nice weekly candle, very, very nice. It's got a little bit of resistance in this area, so I'm just going to kind of mark it here at approximately 16,300 and see if we can continue on, and also taking that monthly into account. But based on what we see here in isolation, this should be able to push on. I can see a little bit of bearish divergence in there, so I am cautious. This could be one of those ones where I'll just wait and see if it can break through before I start engaging in it again. But I have to say that is a relatively nice bullish signal. The ASX, excuse me, also producing a nice little bullish signal here as well. I want to see if it can get outside of this range. This is just garbage over here, but we need to get out and free of that. If we could break up above this level, which I'll just mark here, then I would expect it to be able to really start to pick up pace and move to the upside. And we can just see, I just saw a Twitter comment saying that Apple's now the first $3 trillion company. We can see it breaking and going up, all-time highs, very strong. And when you look back, you can kind of see how strong these signals were at the time. They're always that little bit, are we certain that this is going to be it? And you can see how strong that is. And just a very, very steady, but certainly now I think becoming overextended, still seems to want to keep going. All right, so there's that. We've got Amazon as well. To me, is sort of stalling where it is, battling with this area. But the point is that there are plenty of bullish companies all over the place. And in particular, there was one that caught my eye I wanted to show you. So AMD, very nice. This has got a perfect pullback, nice little bullish candle that's formed there in the 20, 10, and 20 moving averages. Bit of resistance that's showing here on the monthly. So that doesn't look great, but doesn't mean we can't necessarily continue from that. So this is what I'll be looking for this week, is a break above the high, and then looking for it to target this level of resistance, and ideally make its way through that. So that one very much on my watch list for this week. Arc Innovation also producing a nice bullish week, very nice and strong. Glencore trying to produce a higher low, so not so bad as well. Tesco's currently just trying to turn around where it is at this level, but not looking as strong as the others. Amex, very nice strong bullish candle. That looks good for a continuation, also sitting at this area. Remember, I spoke about this being a potential head and shoulders. It is definitely not a head and shoulders at this time. That pattern is completely broken, which implies in fact that it is the opposite, that it is nice and bullish. Berkshire Hathaway, beautiful. This is a almost perfect break and a retest trend continuation. So Berkshire Hathaway looking very, very good. We've got Coca-Cola not looking as strong right now. I'm not concerned about that. Let's see if we can hold at this level of support. And let's see if we turn around this coming week off those levels. We'll see if that's going to be the case. That looks nice and bearish and it's a mess. There's no clear direction, but the daily looks like it has some potential. BP, even here, trying to hold above these levels. Let's go through these. General Motors looking nice and strong. It's the weekly candles that really give it away. They're really really looking nice and strong and not that overextended. I'm not as concerned with the ones that that aren't overextended here as well. Look at this, JP Morgan, beautiful. And this is just such a crisp, clear level of resistance, and it's broken and closed above it. Beautiful, like strong, strong signals. Then we get this. That's a very nice bullish engulfing candle that sits on top of support. You can see we've actually got a double bottom. So when I talk about double bottoms, we've got a breakout and we've got a double bottom in an uptrend, which in itself is a bullish signal. So double bottom is bullish. It's a break and a retest and everything about it. So just that little bit of the wicks that are forming on the weekly, a little bit of a concern, but otherwise this looks phenomenal. Very cool. Meta, okay, Meta just continues to tick along as it runs towards 300. We'll see if it does take a break. I mean, that monthly is just skyrocketing. Who would have thought it? But such consistent growth on that. Okay, nothing massive on Morgan Stanley. Nvidia still in the danger zone. I still need to see what that can do. Netflix is a nice bullish candle that looks nice and good. So a lot of these where I might have been concerned in the past looking good. PayPal has really got to get over that $70 line. But there is a little bit of sunshine there, so let's have a look and see if that is going to be the one that takes it up and crosses the line. Spotify, a little bit of resistance here, but this could actually just ultimately lead to a breakout. We'll see if that's the case. Spider trying to stay above this level of support, so I would mark this one, but you can see it's really struggling there. But let's see if it can stay above that. We've got FedEx. Wow, just such a good week for FedEx last week. And you can see a very crisp breakout, just beautiful. I always love the geometry. I just love how crisp it is sometimes and just how nice it is. Technical analysis is just so much fun. No overthinking stuff. It just looks really good and beautiful. Tesla now clearly, ladies and gentlemen, on the bullish side. Okay, it's well above this line. There's no failures there. I need to remove that. All of those kinds of signs of that have gone. There is this downward trend line. Okay, fine. But based off what I see now, this is just solidly above support. I'm very happy with that. That's good. And, you know, for anyone who's a fan of Tesla, this is not a political thing. Just I'm saying if we like the products, we like the electric cars, that's it. It's looking good. Besides, a lot of people have put money into those, and bought that stock. Let's see if anyone is buying any bonds. No, they're not buying any bonds at this time. So no, and you can just see it is garbage. There's just nothing going on. So no one's buying any bonds. Again, another sign that the market is relatively happy. All right, let's look at cryptos. So consolidation here, I really want to see us break out, and that could very well happen this week. So there's a couple of charts which are hovering near a level and might just be looking for a breakout. You can see Ethereum has managed to break through this, so I think I can get rid of that. We're now slightly more bullish than we are bearish, and let's just quickly jump through the rest of these. Solana has had a good move. Cardano is looking bullish. Looks like it wants to break up there. Remember, we spoke about this nice little level of support, and you can see now it's shifted. The sentiment is now trying to create a higher low and to break through this and get up. But then it's just going to hit some resistance here. Anything else? Binance, look at that. Just see all the buyers propping it up here. Just got to break through this 250 level, and then it should start to take off. So there we go. Guys and girls, seems like most of the action this coming week might end up being in equities and not so much with currencies. We'll see as the week unfolds. That could change, but just not a lot that's standing out right now. It seems as though all the really cool stuff, aside from the Kiwi CAD, is sitting in the indices potentially, and also equities. So it's just been a phenomenal 3 or 4 months to build up a portfolio. And people are always wanting, you know, to buy at the bottom, and there were so many signals at the bottom that it's been pretty good. We're a little bit overextended now, but we could again be potentially at the beginning of the next bull market, which is crazy. But just remember this, that at the bottom of every bull market throughout history, no one ever thought it was the bottom. They always thought it was still that the other shoe was going to drop. That's how it's always been, and it will never change. So there you go. Listen, have a great week and trade carefully. Thank you.